Imagine standing at the precipice of your deepest fear. Every fiber of your being screams for escape, yet you choose to face it. This is not just a hypothetical scenario. This is the experience of Jesus during the crucifixion. It's not only a story of physical sacrifice, but one of spiritual warfare, a deep internal struggle between good and evil. We often speak of the cross as the ultimate symbol of divine love. But what if I told you there was a hidden layer to this story, a battle that took place in the unseen realms, one that could shake your understanding of the sacrifice of Jesus? Today, we are going to peel back these layers and uncover the hidden truth of the cross. We will look at how, on that fateful day, Satan launched his final and most insidious attack against Jesus, one that sought to undo the very work of salvation. The crucifixion of Jesus is the beating heart of Christianity. It is a moment of suffering, of redemption, and of ultimate victory. But to understand the full scope of this victory, we must first look at the long and relentless war waged by Satan against Jesus, beginning long before the cross. From the moment Jesus stepped into the world, Satan began his relentless pursuit. Think of it like a cosmic game of chess, where every move is calculated to undermine the mission of God. In the wilderness, Satan directly tempted Jesus, trying to get him to abandon his purpose. He tempted Jesus to prove his identity by turning stones into bread, jumping from the temple, and even offering all the kingdoms of the world. These were open challenges to Jesus' identity and mission, but when those tactics failed, Satan retreated, waiting for a more opportune time. This opportune time, as described in Luke 4:13, was crucial. It reveals something about the nature of spiritual warfare. Satan does not give up. He waits for our vulnerabilities. He waits for those moments when we are at our lowest, when we feel broken, weak, and alone. And this moment came at the cross. The cross was not only a place of physical suffering, it was the arena for Satan's final psychological and spiritual attack. Satan's goal was not just to cause physical pain, but to destroy the connection between God the Father and Jesus, his Son. Let's pause for a moment and consider the depth of their relationship. The relationship between Jesus and the Father was perfect, unbroken, and eternal. It was a bond so deep that no human words could describe it. If you've ever had a close relationship with someone, a bond of love and trust that might give you a glimpse of how deep Jesus' connection with his Father was. But this bond, this perfect union, was about to be tested in a way that was beyond anything we can imagine. You see, sin creates a barrier between humanity and God. It's not just a mistake or a moral lapse. It's a cosmic offense against the perfect holiness of God. And when Jesus, who knew no sin, became sin for us, he took upon himself the weight of all humanity's transgressions, past, present, and future. The moment he did this, the eternal, unbroken communion between Father and Son was temporarily severed. This is the core of the spiritual assault Satan launched on Jesus at the cross. Satan understood the depth of this relationship. He knew that if he could cause Jesus to experience complete separation from the Father, he could bring about the failure of God's redemptive plan. This was Satan's ultimate taunt. He wanted to make Jesus believe that even God had abandoned him. He wanted to inflict the deepest possible wound, one that would cut to the core of Jesus' identity, his purpose, and the very foundation of the salvation plan. The moment Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" he wasn't merely expressing physical pain. These words were a declaration of the spiritual agony he was experiencing. In this cry, Jesus was experiencing what could only be described as the ultimate loneliness, the complete abandonment of the Father. This was the true depth of his suffering. The agony of the cross was not only in the nails, the crown of thorns, or the mockery of the crowd. It was in the darkness of spiritual separation. Imagine being forsaken by the one who is the source of all love, life, and light. This was the pain that Jesus bore, and it was the greatest test of all. The taunt from Satan was insidious. "See, even your Father has abandoned you. Your sacrifice is meaningless. You are just like the sinners you came to save. You are alone." Satan's attack was not just on Jesus' physical body, but on his very identity as the Son of God. He wanted Jesus to doubt his purpose, to doubt his relationship with the Father, and to abandon the mission that had brought him to the cross. But in the midst of this torment, Jesus' response was not doubt or defeat. His cry, my God, why have you forsaken me?" was not a cry of unbelief. It was a cry that pointed to something much deeper, an expression of his identification with the human condition. These words were a direct reference to Psalm 22, a psalm of David that begins with abandonment but ends in triumph. Jesus, even in his darkest moment, was declaring that his mission was not in vain. Though he was experiencing the depths of spiritual darkness, he was also pointing toward the ultimate victory. And then, just moments before he died, Jesus declared, "It is finished." This was the triumphant declaration that the work of salvation was complete. The taunt of Satan had failed. Though Jesus had experienced separation from the Father, he had not been abandoned. The eternal bond between Father and Son remained intact, and the work of redemption was finished. Satan's final taunt was defeated. Jesus had overcome the greatest spiritual battle ever fought. The cross, then, is not only a symbol of suffering, it is the ultimate symbol of victory. It was through this moment of spiritual darkness that Jesus conquered the power of sin and death. He endured separation from God so that we, through faith in him, would never have to experience that separation ourselves. The cross was the place where Jesus defeated Satan's most insidious attack, the place where divine love triumphed over the deepest darkness. What does this mean for us today? It means that no matter how deep our struggles are, no matter how intense our feelings of abandonment or rejection, we are not alone. Jesus has walked that path before us. He has felt the deepest spiritual anguish. He has experienced what it means to be separated from the Father, and he did it for us. His sacrifice was not just physical, it was a spiritual victory over the power of sin and death. When we face moments of doubt, suffering, or rejection, we can remember that Jesus knows what it feels like to be abandoned. But he also shows us that even in our darkest hour, we are not without hope. The cross tells us that God is with us, even when we don't feel his presence. It reminds us that Jesus has already endured the worst that sin and Satan can throw at us, and he has emerged victorious. So, if you're struggling today, if you feel alone or rejected, remember the hidden truth of the cross. Remember that Jesus endured the greatest spiritual torment so that you could experience eternal connection with God. He faced the ultimate separation so that you would never have to. And through him, you have a way back to God, a way that Satan tried to sever but ultimately failed. Let this truth strengthen your faith, renew your hope, and deepen your connection with the God who loved you enough to send his Son to conquer even the deepest spiritual darkness. If this message has spoken to your heart, if it has deepened your understanding of the cross, please like, share, and comment below. Your engagement helps us reach more people with these transformative truths. And don't forget to subscribe to Eternal Connection with God for more profound insights into the love of God and the redemptive work of Jesus. Until next time, may your connection with God be ever strong.